Hello everyone and welcome back to another masterclass where I teach you how to master constructs in the most simple way possible. Today we're diving into the brand new S-rank physical amplifier, Veronica Aegis. So if you want to maximize Veronica's potential and dominate the battlefield, stick around. Let's break down her kit, rotations, memory sets, and team comps. Let's dive in. Veronica's kit is quite easy to understand because of how her core passive works, so this makes it easy to use on both physical and ignition rotations. Blue and red orbs fill the core passive gauge, yellow orbs will use the core passive gauge. This is the backbone of her rotations. Now let's break down her rotations itself. The TLDR about the orbs: blue and red orbs fill the core passive gauge, yellow orbs will fill the core passive gauge. Got it? Great! Now let's move on to our rotations. Veronica's core passive is straightforward to activate. Start by pinging blue orbs to fill a core passive gauge. Once the gauge is full, the yellow orb becomes available. Using it will consume the gauge and generate energy needed for the first ultimate. Next, activate the first ultimate, and while in this mode, tap the yellow orb twice to consume the red orbs, and core passive stacks to trigger the second ultimate. And then finally, perform the second ultimate to complete the rotation. It really is that simple. Make sure to note everything that I mentioned because we'll dive deeper into her full rotation now. Veronica has 4 main rotations depending on her attribute and rank. You've got physical SS and SS3 and SSS rotations, and an ignition SS and SS3 and SSS rotations. For the physical SS to SS3 rotation, you would swap in, ping blue orb 2 times, ping the yellow orb, tap your first ultimate, tap yellow orb 2 times, and then activate your second ultimate, and then finally swap out. And then for physical SSS rotation, you would swap in, tap your yellow orb, tap your first ultimate, ping yellow orb 2 times, tap your second ultimate, and then ping blue orb 2 times, and then tap your first ultimate again, and then ping yellow orb twice, and then tap your second ultimate, and then finally swap out. And that's it, you have mastered the physical rotation, the key rotation you will be often using in Warzone and Phantom Pain Cage. And now onto the ignition rotation. For ignition SS to SS3, you would swap in, ping blue orb 2 times, ping yellow orb, hold your first ultimate, tap yellow orb 2 times, hold your second ultimate, and then finally swap out. And then for SSS Ignition Rotation, you would swap in, ping blue orb 1 time, hold your first ultimate, tap yellow orb 2 times, tap your second ultimate, ping blue orb 2 times, hold your first ultimate, ping red orb 3 times, hold yellow orb, and then hold your second ultimate, and then finally swap out. Remember these quick notes for SSS rotations. If you can use ultimate before using yellow, you don't have to ping the yellow orb. And only use your yellow orb when pinging blue orbs does not get your first ultimate up and ready to use. Alright, let's talk about ranks. Is it worth pulling for Veronica beyond S rank? Here's the breakdown. This is what SS provides, and the summary of it is that tapping yellow will trigger all QTEs, you get your ultimate damage boost, free core passive gauge for pinging 3 chained red orbs, holding yellow will generate blue orbs, off-field ignition damage support up to 50%. This is what SS3 provides, which is best value for light spenders. And the summary of it is that using any core passive will trigger all QTEs. And then this is SSS, which is overkill, where the summary of it is that resets all QTEs when switching in, plus you gain 25 signature energy, plus 100% core passive gauge. And then you get a 10% extra heal, plus 10% extra core passive damage, and off-field ignition damage support up to 50%. So for the recommended ranks, SS for functional gameplay, SS3 for best value, as this also allows the Veronica to deal better damage, and SSS for whales. Now on to memory sets. Veronica has 3 main memory builds depending on where you are in the game. You've got your Warzone physical build, which is 2-piece Keats, a 4-piece Da Vinci, and a 2-piece Philip with the Harmony. And your resonance would be a top attack plus crit, the bottom row would be class skill. And then for ignition, it would be a 4-piece Shakespeare, a 2-piece Cotty, plus 2-piece Cotty on the harmony. And your resonance here would be top attack and bottom ultimate. And then finally, for Phantom Pain Cage for physical, it would be a 2-piece Keats, a 4-piece Philip, and 2-piece Catherine on the harmony. And your resonance would be top attack and bottom class skill. And now on for the weapon. No doubt, Veronica's 6-star signature weapon, Empyrean Wrath, is a must-have for optimal performance, as this gives you a 10% attack increase and doubles your yellow orb damage. And the weapon resonance priority would be Superconducting Axial Ray to Glorious Spear to Incandescence. And then you have the 5-star options with Skyward Radiance, which just gives you a physical damage increase by 10%, and then Flamethorn, which is the 4-star, which just try to get the 5-star if you can. And then for a Cub, it's optional as it only provides a 20% damage boost. You can just use it for aesthetics, but it's not essential for her functional. Now let's move on to team compositions. Want the best team synergy for Veronica? Here are our top team comps. Veronica's optimal endgame team for general gameplay consists of S-Rank Selena as the attacker, S-Rank Hanying as tank, and S-Rank Veronica as the amplifier. If you don't have certain S-Rank characters, there are alternatives, like S-Rank Rosetta can replace Hanying as your tank, and A-Rank Discord can substitute for Selena until you obtain her. And for Ignition, the best team is S-Rank Dante as your attacker, S-Rank Tsunami as the tank, and S-Rank Veronica as your amplifier. And if you don't have Dante, you can use S-Rank Vera, providing a solid mix of support and damage. And so with all of this said, what do you guys think about Veronica Aegis? Are you pulling for her? Let us know in the comment section below. If this guide helped you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more quick and easy Punishing Grayraven guides. Thanks for watching, good luck with your pulls, and have a wonderful day.
起きたか。ずっと尻尾の上にいたが、辛くないのか。額に跡までつけて。大丈夫。お前くらいいつまでも支えられる。